Everest Leadership Academy 10 proclamations, right? And here again, the school year is almost out, but you want to use all these PowerPoints as a reference manual. And every now and then, if you feel like doing a little reading, you can pick up one of these PowerPoints, 10, 15 minutes, that's about it. It could be as low as a couple of minutes, as reminders, right? Because leadership in developing all these issues, whether it's attitude or whatever the case may be, is repetition. You keep repeating, and repeating, right? And that was, as a matter of fact, that's what Michael Jordan was saying. How did you become so great? He said, I just kept repeating, kept shooting. And by repetition sometimes, that's how you become very great. So these are the 10 proclamations. We know about the 80% of leadership is what?
Firm handshake.
Right. And a sincere smile, right? And it's got to be firm because that's an issue of self-confidence, right? And the smile has to be sincere. And what does the smile convey to the other person?
That basically like you're enjoying their presence here,
Right.
Happiness essentially.
Right. And you care about them.
Yes.
Right. That's
And you
80%.
trust them.
Right, and you trust them, right. 80% of leadership. Now, the other 20% is pretty tough, all right? We talk about leadership style, right? What's an effective style? Now, leadership, the definition of style comes in many different sizes and no one size fits all, right? But for the most part, just as kind of a general definition, I would say 80% of leadership is having empathy for people, and the other 20% is toughness, right? And so my view is that in order to be effective, people have to first know that you care about them, right? Then you can get tough in terms of what the expectation is, right? We all know that there's no elevator to success, right? And you all agree with that, right?
Of course.
Occasionally in life, which is very unusual, I don't have an example, sometimes people make it up the mountain with no failures, no setbacks, no roadblocks. I don't know, maybe it's possible. I think that's very unusual. So there's no elevator, one step at a time. And by the way, that's the only way you want to get there. You want to climb the mountain yourself. Now, you can have someone with you as a mentor, right? But you have to climb it yourself, all right? And the reason for that is when you get to the top of that mountain, and you're too young to know that yet, but once you get there, you'll understand what that means. The important thing to know is that you did it, that you achieved that as an end goal in terms of your own success, and it didn't come easy. You earned it, right? You earned it the hard way, and that's what's key, and whatever that might be. All right.
Yeah, so satisfaction in knowing that you did.
That's all that matters. That, at the end of the day, you did your best, and this is the result. That's all that matters, right? And here again, we define success as what?
Knowing purpose in life.
Your purpose in life. That's it. We don't define success, how much money you have. We don't define it quantitatively, how many things you have, all right? And we also know that in the academy, which we preach, as one moves on in life, all right, that the small things eventually become the big things. And the big things become irrelevant. Right? It's just those little small things, all right? We talked about stop focusing on what you can't do, which we just alluded to earlier, right? Think about new ways of getting it done. Right? So number 7 is what we think and what we believe in the end, is of little consequence. And the only thing that matters is what?
What we do as individuals, how we carry
That's
ourselves.
Yeah, it's got to be action oriented. We can think about a lot of stuff, but unless it becomes actionable, it doesn't mean anything. So the consequence, and it's the consequence of what we think or what we believe, is really what we do. Number 8, we talked about the issues of environment earlier, right? And that we're all a product of our environment, all right, especially in the early ages. But more importantly, we're a product of what we do with those experiences, all right? And as no different than failure. As bad as the experiences are, we need to understand that and have a better outcome. That's what it's all about, right? And when I was growing up, and you know my life story, there were many times I could have felt sorry for myself. You know, why me? And you know, we didn't have much money, but it didn't matter. I probably spent a little too much time in the playground, not enough time in the library. But those are very minor regrets. But I learned from all of that, and I was able to move on. All right? Number 9, we have to take ownership over life's journey. That's it. Yeah, we don't push it on to somebody else. Well, you this and you that, or you do one of these. All right? That's our responsibility as individuals. All right? So we create whatever that is, and we choose to be what that is, and that becomes the script of life. All right? And to go forward and look back and say, well, it wasn't really me, it was so-and-so and this and that and all the circumstances. I don't know where that gets you, not very far, but so be it. Right? And number 10, we keep getting back to attitude, right? So who's going to read out number 10?
I guess I'll read it.
Go ahead.
Ability times effort times attitude equals success and happiness. Attitude is the most important factor.
And that's what we just discussed in the previous segment, right? So just think attitude, attitude, attitude. And part of the attitude is whatever it is that you do your best, whether it's in school, on the job, in the playground, wherever it is, give it your all. More importantly, if you're in a team kind of a situation, whether it's soccer, football, basketball, it doesn't matter. But once you become part of a team situation, you have an added responsibility to your teammates to do your best. All right. And so when I coached soccer in high school years, I would say to the players, I was less interested in the final score, even though it's great to win and everybody wants to win, but I was less interested in that. The thing I was more interested in, and this is what I would tell them before they got onto the field, was you get on that field, and the only thing I want out of you is to do your best. Do your best for yourself, which is important. So it's all about you. But maybe just as important, or more importantly, do your best for your teammates. That's it. That's what it's all about. And if we win, it's great. And if we don't win, so be it. As long as I know, now if we don't win and you didn't give it your all, I'm not going to be happy. Right? All right? I'm not going to be happy. And if we do win and you didn't give it your all, I'm not going to be happy. All right? Because it's just a score. But every time you get on that field, you give it your best.